Man Group. Welcome in, everyone. We do apologize for the 4-minute wait. We're all in here geeking out about the new software that we're using. We're like kids in a candy store out here. As always, the Redman Group is sponsored by the 21 Convention, which is coming up in Orlando this October 21st through the 24th.
24th to 27th.
Through the 27th. My mistake. I'm putting the link to get your tickets in the chat right now. The sooner you buy, the more you save, guys. So again, the sooner you buy, the more you save. That's the 21 Convention in Orlando, Florida. Everyone that you see on the screen here, we are all confirmed speakers at the 21 Convention. Of course, Anthony is going to be running the show on that. Joining me, speaking of the Redman Group, of course, is the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony. We call him Wet Dream Johnson now, right? Calling you the Wet Dream Johnson. And then, of course,
not even sure where to go. Yep.
Well, listen, this is what the girls call you when you run that Salt Daddy game on them. And by the way, we gotta do an episode about the Salt Daddy game. That's awesome.
Yeah, we should get that guy on, Rob, the guy who wrote the book too. He's even better than I am with it.
Shit, man. Oh yeah,
that's cool.
A future topic. Of course, in the house, themanmindset.com. Steve, the Dean Williams. How you doing, man?
Yes, sir. What's up? Let's eat.
Good stuff, man. I'm actually opening up the phone lines right now.
Cool.
The phone lines are open. 914-205-5356. Again, that is 914-205-5356. If you have a question, a comment about the topic that we're talking about, or another topic, if you need dating advice, relationship advice, we are all here for you. So today's topic is about nice guys finishing last. Why nice guys finish last, or do nice guys finish last? Now, we're red pill guys, right? And we are certainly, myself, I believe that nice guys finish last, but there are varying degrees to this. It's not just do nice guys finish last. There are nuances, there are levels, there are degrees. So let me start with you first, Steve. What does the phrase nice guy finish last mean according to Steve the Dean, and do nice guys indeed finish last?
Hey, Donovan, look, don't you talk about my workers. I don't listen. Let me tell you something. I'm not laughing. Hey, look, I love my Cowboys and I love my workers. And I don't feel like they nice guys. They just got a place in society.
Oh boy, here we go.
No, they got a place in society. Somebody's got to buy the meals. Somebody's got to drive a woman around.
Right.
Someone's got to be a shoulder to cry on. Someone's got to put up with Christmas and Halloween lights. Someone's got to buy her dinners and drink.
Buy us dinner, right?
Right. They got to buy us dinner and stuff like that. They got to buy, they got to buy Anthony Moore hats and stuff like that. I mean, I get offended when y'all call them nice guys. They are great guys. They're not nice. They're great.
Jesus.
Anthony, what's your take on this? And I actually have something to add to Steve there, because what he said, as funny as that's actually kind of true. What's your take on the nice guys finish last?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on it. I mean, right away, Dr. Glover's book, one of our speakers, No More Mr. Nice Guy, comes to mind. But my most fundamental thought, I think, is that nice guys are not really nice. And actually, so you mentioned, do they finish last? A lot of the times they don't finish at all. And I don't just mean that sexually, I mean that like in life. An extreme example of that would be getting literally cucked out of existence. Like a woman, like you read, about the news and stuff, some dude has 3 kids that are not his. He finds out 30 years later, he's fucking 65 years old. He gets angry and all that shit. Rightfully so. Basically your genes are getting removed from the gene pool against your will. So I actually wonder if the saying, nice guys finish last, really they don't finish at all most of the time, I think. And then also, of course, sexually in the dating marketplace, things like that, they suck. And they're not really nice. And that's what Dr. Gilbert talks a lot about, is covert contracts, which is like, I think one of the cornerstones of this fake nice guy persona. They're not nice.
Right.
And to the contrary, real nice guys are have better boundaries. They're more masculine. Cobra Tate is, I think, a really good example of this. And that's one of the first things I noticed in my director and some of the guys I work with, is that Cobra Tate is a super nice guy. And I think even in his bio now, he has that now or something like that. He's like, nice guy. And, he's this fighter. He's this fucking bad boy. He runs like a porn, this porn stuff with cam stars and drives these cars and all this shit, right? Literally kicks dudes' asses in the ring. World champion. But when you hang out with him, he's a fucking super chill dude, super nice guy. if you're not some fucking, covert little scumbag lying to his face. He's a man. And so I think the real nice guys are masculine men who actually have boundaries and masculinity and things like that. And these fake nice guys that finish last or not at all, it's a really unhealthy way to live. And yeah, they're not nice. And that's why they end up being passive aggressive dicks a lot of the time.
Yes, there you go.
They vent all this unconscious crap out into the world. That could be openly, it could be covertly, it could be some combination of those things. But yeah, a lot of guys who are nice in public, even in our community, are not very nice behind the scenes. It's a persona, like in Jungian psychology and shit. It's fake. And the real nice guys are much more, stronger, more visible usually. I think Donald Trump, for example, is a super nice guy.
Yes.
People think he's the biggest asshole on the planet. And I can see why a lot of people would think that, but I don't think that. I think he's a nice guy doing what he wants to fucking do, which is part of being a true nice guy.
No, listen, I would agree with you. And in my opinion, as far as I'm concerned, how can I put this? What you said rings 100% true. When a guy is what we call a nice guy within the construct of a sexual relationship with a female, or the pursuit of a sexual relationship with a female, we call nice guys exactly what Steve calls them. These are the guys who expect women to give them their sexual favors for their financial consideration. Those are the nice guys. Well, I took you out to dinner. I was nice to you at dinner, so you need to be nice to me in bed. Right?
Yeah, like it's a punch card at a restaurant or something. Yeah. Like, you get free Subway sandwiches if you do so many nice things. That's complete nonsense.
It's almost like forced loyalty, right?
Yeah.
Someone helps you out, and you didn't really ask for them to help you out, but now you feel sort of indebted to them. And girls do this all the time. Just because you took me out to dinner does not mean that I have to sleep with you. And they're 100% right. But on the other side of that coin, just because you let me sleep with you does not mean then that I am obliged to take you out. That's sort of a two-way street.
Well, I want to add too, Donovan, think about it sexually too, like being a nice guy. What's being a real nice guy? These nice guys in bed, they suck. They're super gentle. There's no animal within them that's being expressed. And women hate that. They feel resentful towards it. They don't like it. It pisses them off and frustrates them.
Yes.
Being nice to a woman means spanking the shit out of her. A lot of maybe some yelling, maybe some cursing, maybe she's screaming that you're her daddy, you're her king. All kinds of fucked up and aggressive stuff. It's not fucked up though. It's really like what's inside you that you're expressing, and that's being nice. Is being that king for them, and being this pussy beta wimp is not very nice. It's very rude in a way. Yes. It's insulting to her femininity, and she doesn't like it. Like the way you treat your girlfriend, Donovan. You stamp her ass with your name and shit. I mean, that to me is being a true nice guy. Is when you spank her and you do these things. She fucking loves it, and she loves you for it. On top of that, so it's a very healthy dynamic. It's just counterintuitive, so most guys don't get it. On top of the propaganda they're fed by women and feminists and all this shit.
Well, here's why it's counterintuitive, which actually leads me into what I'd like to get you guys' opinion on first. When we say nice guys finish last, we're not really talking about nice guys. What we're talking about is men without backbone finish last.
Yeah.
Men who don't hold women accountable finish last. Men who reward women without them having earned the reward, they finish last. Steve, what are your thoughts on nice guys finish last? What it actually means is that if you don't have the backbone to check your woman, if you don't stand up for yourself, if you don't tell your woman, hey, cut it the fuck out, if you don't check your woman, those are the guys that finish last. What are your thoughts on nice guy just being more or less shorthand for men with no backbone, men who just let women walk all over them?
Well, yeah, I am a very, very nice guy. Women love my kindness and how I am, but what makes me an asshole is that I say no. I can easily say no. I can easily say put her in her place. I can check her at the door. Where a nice guy, what he's going to do is he's always going to walk on eggshells because he knows any move I make that's wrong, I'm probably going to lose her. Or he's already lost her and he's trying to do everything to try to win her. Right. And like you said, they are they have no backbone, no spine. They are afraid. I mean, even as far as approaching a woman, you don't even know her. She's a complete stranger and you're giving all that power to someone you don't know. And then on top of that, when you talk to her because you don't know what you're doing, you like Anthony said, boring question. Like the way, like I'm gonna tell you what Anthony was saying earlier. The way you are outside the bedroom is the same way she's going to perceive you in the bedroom.
Right.
This is why a lot of these guys don't get women, because when you're soft, you're passive, you act like a victim. I mean, when you display mommy characteristics, basically, she doesn't want to fuck another woman. I mean, she wants to fuck a woman, but she doesn't want to fuck a guy that acts like a woman, who has no spine, who can't defend his position, can't defend what he says, and can't tell a woman to shut the fuck up when need be.
There you go.
Yeah, like how is she going to trust you to be herself around you and to fucking submit to you and embrace those things, those elements of herself? How is she going to be your slut if she can't trust you and your little nympho? If she can't trust you to be a man and check her and put her in her place and then let her do these things and encourage her and pull those things out of her, shut them down, do all these things, right? To be in command of her. Yeah, and if she can't trust you to do that in public and like social settings, she's sniffing that out, basically. She smells that, and that weakness is going to show up in the bedroom too.
One perpetuates the other, okay? If you don't stand up to your woman in private, if you are afraid to check your woman in private, she definitely doesn't trust you, because she's going to think to herself, well, if he's afraid of me, then how the hell is he going to be able to physically protect me? Now, granted, in 2019, American Western women are rarely in physical danger. Like, as a female's boyfriend or husband, you are rarely going to be called upon, as it were, to defend her person. Okay, because you assault a woman, man or a woman. If a man or a woman assaults a woman, there are grave consequences, and for that reason, that is a deterrent for men, people, etc., to bring physical harm to women. That being said, there are still crazy guys out there. There are still guys out there who it doesn't matter if they're a man or a woman, they're going to attack these people. And women need to know that they're with a man who can physically protect her, right?
Well, even in the context you're putting it, which I agree with, that's a very temporary window in human history.
Yes.
And her feelings and, evolutionary, shit in the back of her head, none of that is caught up to the fact that she's not in constant physical danger,
right?
Which for most of history, she has been. All of her ancestors were. Either, no matter what happened, getting pregnant was super dangerous, giving birth was super dangerous, walking around looking for food was super fucking dangerous. Animals would kill you, the weather would kill you,
right.
Other tribes would kill you, men would rape you. And that shit in America has gone, obviously in the West has gone, plummeted off a cliff. But her brain doesn't know that. So all the feelings, the necessity for those feelings to feel safe and to feel like she's owned and that she can be commanded by this man who has power, those are still necessary.
It's in her, and real quick before Steve goes, it's in her subconscious not to be sexually attracted to men who cannot physically protect her. A man who is perceived to be a man who cannot physically defend himself or her person, a woman cannot become physically or sexually attracted to. It just can't happen. Steve, what are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, like Anthony was saying, man, women, see, a lot of guys have to understand. Now, we always talk about women love dick. All right. They love sex, and they're dirty, nasty, and kiki as all y'all imagine them to be. But they can't do that with every person.
Right.
They've got to feel out. Like Anthony was saying, man, she doesn't know you, but when she knows that you're nice, she knows that you have this one thing that assholes have, and that's options. So that gives her an advantage over you, because she knows that you ain't going anywhere. Where you going? Who else are you gonna talk to?
Going my way, Steve. Going my way. Where the fuck you going? Where the fuck you going?
You got that right. Where you fucking going? Exactly. And when you don't have those kinds of options, that dries up her pussy. It dries it up, because you can't talk. You handle everything, like I said before, as if it's a make or break situation, and she doesn't want that. And like you said, Donovan, as far as the security, she wants to feel like when she's walking down the street with you, she has nothing to worry about except pleasing you and enjoying your company and enjoying your time. She doesn't have to. She doesn't want to worry that wherever she go, oh my God, she see a group of guys, you're gonna be the one cowering behind her dress or running off and leaving her to her own defenses. So and that's, y'all both are absolutely right on this, guys.
So what I'm going to do, guys, I actually found an article. I'm going to bring it up here. I found an article on a website called Dating Dynamics for Men, and the look at this. Look at that. Is actually going to let me put it on the screen. Give me a second so I can Okay, dating dynamics for men. Give me a second. Here we go. Oh wow, this is freaking awesome.
Holy shit! This the app.
This is crazy. This is listen, forgive us guys. We're tinkering with new software here, but dude, look at this. Look at that. Now, of course, I'm playing around. Now, all of us are on the screen along with this particular article. So, the article is called 10 Reasons Nice Guys Finish Last. And like I said, it's on datingdynamicsformen.com. I'll put the link in the chat here shortly. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to read these 10 reasons why nice guys finish last. And I would like all of us to sort of do like a round robin in terms of what our thoughts are on each of those points. Guys, keep in mind, you guys can chat in your questions. You can call into the show, 914-205-5356. Again, that is 914-205-5356. If you're calling from outside of the U.S., dial 001-914-205-5356, and we will get you onto the show as soon as possible. I see a question there by Beach Shucks or whatever. We're going to get to that in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and start this article. We're going to address this first one. So it starts off. It says, after writing my first book, I started getting hundreds and hundreds of email dating questions. And I started to see the patterns of guys who were frustrated and hurt because of their lack of dating success, despite how quote unquote nice they were. I know this because I'm a nice guy too. Just like Anthony said. Anthony said Cobra Tate's a nice guy. Steve the Dean says he's a nice guy. This guy who wrote this article is a nice guy too. But he says, I found my way through the confusion, and I have now compiled this top 10 reasons that being nice won't get you the girl. So this is going in ascending order. We're going to go from in descending order. So reason number 10, lack of leadership. He says, quote, when you're busy asking her, should I pick you up? Where should we go? What should we eat? She's busy thinking, I don't care either. Why can't you just be a man and make a decision for us? The lesson, he says, stop trying to handle her with kitten gloves. Stop following her around like a lost puppy dog and learn to lead. Learn to make decisions. Learn to surprise her. And finally, stop asking her for permission and approval. Most women are very happy for you to lead each date like it's an adventure instead of being asked to drive the bus. Guys, that is rife with red pill truth. Steve, you first, man. What do you get from this?
No, I get a lot from that because I always tell guys it's not about the pussy for me. It's about wasting my time. If she's not going to follow my narrative and my agenda and what the fuck I want to go on, I have no use for her. I will throw her ass back into the water and fish the next one right beside her. That's the problem with a lot of guys. They want to do everything they possibly can to try to please her because in their mind or with society or what these TVs and radios are taught them, the nicer you are to her, the more she's going to give in. And if y'all guys do not believe me, I tell you all the time, call your mom up today, tell her you love her, and say, Mom, I met a girl. How should I treat her? And listen to all the goddamn lies from your mother on how to do that. But a lot of you guys listen, but women don't want that. Always remember, women may want you to open doors. Women may want you to buy them a rose and take them out. They want that. But like Donovan and Anthony's been saying, they need somebody. A need is over a want, guys. What they need is somebody that's going to put them in a place and tell them what to do. I'm never going to ask you what you want to do and where you want to go. Well, either you're going to go there with me or I will go there and find somebody else to replace you. Donovan.
Anthony, what you got, brother?
Just a couple thoughts on it. So one of the things I think that red pill men or any man can forget about is how perceptive women are to see inside of you, to see inside your personality and your psychology and to read your behavioral cues. So I think that's one of the big problems of being this nice guy and doing all this bullshit that this guy's saying, like, where should I pick you up? Where should we go? What should we eat? They see right through that. They see through much faster than you will, right? Especially the nice guys who are oblivious to this, but even if you're a little bit aware of it. So they see through that, and that's unhealthy, and they don't want to be around that. What's the other thing I wanted to bring up with it? Oh yeah, so another thing too that red pill men can forget about. So women have this unique ability to be horrible at introspecting and like seeing some of their own bullshit, but at the same time, they still can see inside of themselves pretty well in terms of knowing what they want. And what they definitely don't want is some little puppy dog following them around. They all fucking know this like intuitively. They might not be able to articulate it, and maybe they don't need to or care, but they know that. And that's another reason too that you can't be a nice guy like this and do this, this follow around bullshit. And in fact, you should do the opposite. Well, a lot of the stuff saying like, should I pick you up? One of the best lines I ever got from one of our speakers was Zamparion, and it was just the idea. And I do this all the time. And it's fucking great. And it said we should do this. So I don't ask, when I invite a girl over or something like that, I don't say, hey, do you want to come over? I say, hey, we should get together and you should come over.
Right.
That's what we should do. We should. And it's not this pushy, over aggressive stuff. It's just assertive. Yes. I'm taking the lead. This is what I want to do. We should grab wine. We should grab coffee. We should, hang out, whatever the fuck. I don't want to give all my moves away in public. But yeah, the should is very positive. And when you put should into a question, that's like the opposite of what you want to do. And so it's not surprising that they use that as an example, I think. But yeah, so for red pill men, don't forget that women, it's easy to look at them and be like, how the fuck is she this oblivious to her own behavior, the solipsism and stuff? But at the same time, they do have an ability to see inside of themselves in terms of what they want and what they desire. And they will viciously fucking pursue that the emotions and the feelings and whatever other needs they want from you. And they're going to be ruthless about it. Hypergamy doesn't care. And that's one of the ways it shows itself in these little nice guy relationships.
Listen, what you say is 100% true. And when I have consultation with guys, I tell my guys this. When you're running game on a girl, whether it's, online dating, Tinder, out on the street, coffee shop, casino, whatever, and there comes a time where you are going to get the number from her. Now, Steve and I, we disagree on whether you should get a girl's number or give her your number. That's a fundamental difference between Steve and I, but guess what? Both ways work. My way works better for me. His way works better for him. But anytime you're in contact with a girl, whether you get her number or you give her your number, when you are setting up the date, hey, there's XYZ bar, there's this new XYZ bar in town, I'm going to be there at 10 o'clock p.m., come with me, right? That's the way I do it. I don't say, hey, are you busy tonight? Or, hey, if you don't mind, no, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it, literally. I'm going here, come with me. The worst she can tell you is no. The point is just like Anthony said, is you have to be you don't need to be overly douchebaggy aggressive, but by the same token, you can't be passive either. What needs to happen is you need to assert yourself. This is why we call it being assertive. Women respond to aggression, and they also respond to assertiveness, but they respond to passiveness very negatively. You cannot be passive when it comes to women. Otherwise, they will be passive to you, as in pass you up for another guy. We've got a super chat question in here. So shout out to Wizard of Do It Land with the $5 super chat. He's got a question. He says, last night you talked about arguing, but can you tell us what is the proper way to respond to arguing if it's starting to just come up in your long-term relationship? Steve, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't care if it's long-term, short-term, booty call or not. The bottom line is the first thing you should always do is, again, assertiveness. This is where y'all guys go wrong. I'm a drama-free man. Anybody brings any drama in my life, you are gone. You are allowed to talk to me, but you are not my mother. You are not my boss, and you are lucky that you are around me. And this is what you need to tell him, Wizard, or her. I mean, not him. Excuse me. I apologize, Wizard. Wizard, what you should be telling your long-term relationship is this, is that, you know what? I can find a million women like you. You'll never find one like me. And if you keep this up, you're gone. Do not talk to me. Do not test me. Do not try me. Because if you do, you're going to end up in the wrong side of the stick. And again, Wizard, I know this might be a little advanced, but I don't have time nor the patience to sit around and have someone talk to me like they're my mother.
Oh, absolutely.
The only one that can tell me what to do was the one who had me from the time she had me to the time I left her house. She was the only one that could tell me when I can go to bed, wake up, and then when I had to eat. Now that I am my own man, nobody can tell me what to do. Now I'm not talking about your job, goddammit. If you went to the 21 convention, the patriarch one that we had, I talked about this, that there are 3 laws that you must abide by: the law of the land, the law of the job, and the law of the street. Outside of that, you can create your own laws. So you have to be accountable of asking yourself, why are you allowing someone to even pump enough blood in her heart to go through her goddamn jaw to disrespect you, sir?
Anthony, your thoughts?
Yeah, in the super chat. So I would go back to like Red Pill, very basic fundamental stuff with this. So the way he worded it, like if arguments are starting to come up in a relationship or something like that, a long-term relationship, there's like a super low chance she actually wants to have an argument with you that has to do with reason and logic. Like it's super, super low. So what you're seeing, you need to watch the behavior and ignore the words. The arguments are coming from, well, the words in the initiation of an argument are coming from somewhere else. And it's not just for some, good reason that she wants to have an argument, most likely. Maybe she wants to get fucked harder. Maybe she's feeling emotionally turbulent for some reason. Maybe she's testing you, but it's for a good reason. Maybe she's testing you, it's for some stupid ass insecurity reason. Whatever the case is, there's almost no chance it's going to be some beneficial argument to your relationship. And that's why Steve is saying what he's saying. Like, you need to shut that shit down. Don't tolerate it. Beyond that, I mean, I'm not super experienced in relationships, but that's what comes to mind immediately with it. And that's for like a short-term thing or a long-term thing, whether she's a fuck buddy or she's your girlfriend or something like that. She doesn't want to actually have an argument with you. So ignore the words and watch the behaviors. The behaviors are she's starting shit with you. That's what Steve's talking about. And you need to respond to that appropriately, probably by bending her over, fucking her, and spanking her, or some variation of this. She wants to know, like, she wants to feel who you are. It's probably emotionally based is what it is every time.
Yeah, listen, there's nothing wrong with baring your teeth every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Way too many men are lost. But men don't understand that it's okay to raise your voice at your woman, okay? You can yell at your woman. It's not against the law, at least yet, right? And she may not like it, okay? She might throw a fit. Oh, my God, I can't believe you yelled at me. Hey, listen, you mess with the bull, you get the horns. You don't say some shit like that. But if you're unafraid to raise your voice at your woman, she's not going to respect you. She's going to test you until you actually do. And when you do it, it's going to be in a very effeminate way if you're not used to raising your voice. Now,
I want to add, like, I don't think women want to, I don't know if women want to fear you, but they want to know that they can fear you.
Yes.
And that's, I think, what Donovan's getting at. They want to feel that. And that could be a positive reason for her testing you and bringing up some bullshit arguments from time to time. Like, they want to see you fucking bare your teeth and fucking yell a little bit. They want to see what's inside.
Yeah, they want to know that it's in you. But here's my answer to the super chat question. The proper way to respond to arguing. Like Steve said last night, it's not that we're, and don't be meathead red pill guy. If my woman has a concern, we're not discussing shit. It's my way or the fucking highway. It is your way or the highway, but your woman is a human being. She has thoughts and feelings and needs and all that stuff. This doesn't mean cater to her every whim, but by the same token, there's no need to bend over backwards to placate to her. But your woman is going to test you at some point. She is going to try to disrespect you. Again, this doesn't mean that she can't have a discussion with you about something you need to discuss. But an argument is absolutely not one of them. So the very first time your woman starts to get out of pocket, you just look at it like if she comes at you and says, Donovan, we need to have a talk about da-da-da-da-da. If your woman ever does that to you, the very first time she does that, remain calm, look her right in the eye and be like, watch your tone. Let's walk that back and try it again. But let's act like an adult this time. Go.
I want to add here too, Donovan. Women who are more clever, more intuitive, maybe a little bit higher IQ or something like that, they will oftentimes find a real argument, something that's legitimate and that speaks to the fact that they are a human being, that they have opinions and thoughts and concerns and shit. They can use a real argument with real merit as a way to cleverly shit test you and make you fail.
Absolutely.
This isn't this crazy woman. And so what I'm getting at is that sometimes, and this is difficult for me to learn and accept about the red pill and about women, sometimes they'll have a real legitimate concern and it's got real justification to it, but that doesn't matter because her emotions are a higher priority to her than usually the reality that's in front of the both of you at the same time. So what I'm saying is they want, even if it's a real argument in the unlikely event that it is, sometimes they're bringing that up on purpose because they want to lose that argument, because they want to sacrifice for you. Because for most women, that's how they show their love for you. They want to give things up for you.
Yes.
Assuming it's not some, super crazy self-destructive thing where they're hurting themselves or some shit. There's a point where this becomes unhealthy. But in healthy ways, women want to find things to sacrifice for you that are real. And the fact that it's a real argument that they want to lose, even if it has merit, That's part of the trap. And they want you to see through that, and they want you to overcome that, and they want to give things to you, and they want to give things up for you specifically all of the time.
Absolutely, well said. We actually have another.
Well, I wanted to say, I can say something real quick on that.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve. You got it.
He made a comment in the chat room and this is disturbing to me. He said that she wants to get married, and that is disturbing to me because the first thing you should tell her, this is why we're not going to get married. Why would I want to put a ring on your finger if you're arguing to me about something I'm not ready to do? See, the problem is that, listen, I tell you guys, if you want to get married, but get married because you want to do it. What is your reason why? Don't do it because she forces you or quote unquote argues with you or puts you in a corner. This is my question to you, big dog wizard, is why is she even living with you if she's living with you? Because there is no marriage. If you are arguing with me already about something I haven't chosen, it's my choice. If you're going after my last name, I don't have to give it to you. But arguing with me, man, I'm telling you, she's doing it because she smells weakness. That's why she's doing it, dog. And
let's define this. When a woman argues with you, what she is doing is she is discussing something with you in a disrespectful way, because there's nothing to be gained from any argument. You can gain a lot. Listen, Devin and I, we have a lot of discussions. We don't argue. If I have a bone to pick with her, I get loud. If she has a bone to pick with me, she not so much. This is just how it is. This is just the male-female dynamic. So again, we're not telling you guys never to address the concerns of your wife or girlfriends or significant others. What we are telling you is that you cannot allow her to just address you any old kind of way. Just like Steve said, I'm not your son. Don't talk to me like I'm your kid. Don't talk to me like I'm your equal. You're going to address me with respect, and now we can have that discussion. And if you don't head it off at the pass, if you don't nip it in the bud the very first time, if you let it continue to go on, and then you try to do it 2-3 years down the line, she'll be like, wait, what? You're all of a sudden now you're trying to act like a man after being a rich boy for 2.5 years? Get out of here with that. I'm going to continue to stay out of pocket.
Yeah, women are always building case history with you. I mean, there's like 1,000 different ways to do this, but that's why when men trying to turn things around in a relationship, it's super difficult because you've been building a pattern of behavior and history with her in her head that's how she sees the world. That's how she sees you. That's what you've shown her physically and emotionally and all these things for a long time, months or years. So when you change that, it comes off usually incongruent, especially if it's too intense right away.
Yes.
So I empathize with the guys who are trying to turn around relationships and marriages, but yeah, it's a really tough uphill battle.
Hard.
It can be won, but it's tough.
Listen, it's very tough, Anthony, because, and don't get me wrong, you know, there are some men who are awakened while married. And there's another question in the chat that I was going to address, but let's just go ahead and address it now because we're sort of talking about it. It is by Virginia Beach. It's by Virginia Beach Sucks. I know this is bad. Okay, very good. It's by Virginia Beach Sucks. Okay, and he asks, when your girl starts monkey branching, can you turn it around, or is it best to cut and run? I'll take the first quick crack at this. If you're aware that your woman is in the midst of monkey branching, if you're aware of it, you need to understand she started monkey branching 6 months ago. Okay, It's over with. Is it possible to turn it around? I suppose, but it's very, very difficult. Just like Anthony and Steve were just both talking about. If your woman disrespects you, if she blatantly disrespects you, and you didn't address it the very first time, you can't expect her to act any differently. You have to nip this behavior in the bud. If you let her get away with it even one time, she's going to continue to do it until the conclusion of the relationship comes. So is it best to cut and run or to turn it around? No, get your ass out of there, because if you know she's monkey branching, she's been monkey branching for quite a while. Steve, what are your thoughts?
What the fuck is a monkey branch?
Okay, the monkey branch. I love that Steve has no idea. We actually talked about this yesterday about how the red pill has all of this vernacular. Steve's like, I don't give a shit about hypergamy. All I know is what I know. Monkey branching is when a woman is dating a man and she starts to become unattractive to that man, so she starts cheating on him with somebody else, but she stays with him. Only when she knows the guy she's cheating with is going to commit to her does she let go of one branch.
The branches are the dicks.
By
the way. Oh, the branches. Well, here's my question. why are you allowing this bitch to go from one dick to another? It's your fault. Why are you?
He might not mean cheating because it could also mean like emotionally.
Other men.
He picked up that she's fishing. She's fishing.
Right.
There you go.
Which is imminently cheating, of course.
That's why I tell you I don't do the male friend thing. Unless his name is Twan and he's like, hey, girl, I don't do that. I don't listen.
Yep.
I always give a woman a choice of what she wants to do. I never force it on her. The problem with you guys is that there is no way I can be like you and have my girl be friends with someone like Anthony or Donovan. Because every time I screw up, who do you think she's going to go to? She's going to go to a real man and find out why you're not, or excuse me, let's say I'm the cupcake and I got a girl that's, I guess, monkey branching, whatever the fuck you call it. And she's friends with Anthony and she's friends with Donovan. Every time I fuck up, she's going to them to see what it's like to be with a real man.
Right. Finger cuffs.
Right. And then she's comparing notes. And then she's coming back and judging me because I can't be them. Dude, the first problem y'all have is y'all do not control yourselves. Thus, you cannot control your women because a real woman is not going to go outside the confines of her relationship when she's with a real man because a man gives her everything she needs. Don't get me wrong, she's going to have associates at work, but she's not going to try to sweet talk Anthony or let Anthony do that. Because when you're doing it right, they come home to you and tell you everything that's going on. But if you are quote unquote living with someone that's monkey dick swinging whatever that shit is, then you are the problem, man. You don't let no one do that.
Anthony, what should Virginia Beach Sucks do? Should he turn it around or should he cut and run?
Well, I was actually thinking about the question, was reading it over on screen. Oh, hang on, my camera cut out. I'll fix it real quick. I'll fix it 1 second. You can still hear me, right?
Oh, yeah, we can still hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, where did he go? Nope, he's there. Nope, he's gone. Nope.
I guess he's coming back. But he asked a question real quick before Anthony comes back is, see, this is my problem. See, this is what's wrong with you guys. See, this is why y'all act more feminine than masculine, because you saying all this stuff about her monkey branching, and then all of a sudden you say she has baby rabies and all this other stuff. Then why are you with her? Why are you even? It's like you with her, but you want to sit and complain about her because she ain't doing what you want or something.
Well, here's the thing. I don't quite understand the statement. He said, I'm not concerned about moving on. She has baby rabies and I don't want marriage.
What is that?
So, it's confusing to me.
Right.
You said you're not worrying about, and again, I just need more information here so we can give you the proper information.
Tell him to call in.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to call in to give a little bit more detail, but you said you're not concerned about moving on. You or her? Like, do you want to, like, put it in the chat, VA Beach Sucks. Are you with her and do you still want to be with her? Yes or no? And I think at that point we can probably give him the proper information here. Let me add Anthony.
Okay.
Cool.
If she has baby rabies and doesn't want marriage, why the fuck are you with her? That's the problem with y'all guys. Y'all want to. It's like I saw a meme called an asshole. And an asshole is someone that asks a question. Then when you give them the fucking real answer, they still don't do the shit or they question what you say.
Yeah.
Why are you with somebody? You want to sit there and say she has baby rabies and don't want marriage? Then why the fuck are you with her for then?
What it comes down to, like Steve says, listen, if you like the girl, it's okay to admit it. Like nobody's judging here, but we need to know what's going on. Are you with her and do you want to remain with her? Because you put the question in the chat. So obviously you're concerned about her. There's no need to pretend that you don't like her. So you got to be honest and you have to be thorough. Anthony, what are your thoughts on this?
What I wanted to add earlier, looking at his original question, was that I see an educational opportunity for him and I don't. And so giving him an immediate answer, it's fine. But it's like, he needs to look at his own question, why he's asking it in the first place. That her behavior is giving him feedback to his behavior. Most likely it's his fault this is going on. It's possible she's some crazy cluster B clusterfuck, or she's been super indoctrinated by feminism. But most likely it's just the way he's behaving that's causing this. And he's not, if she has real expectations like baby rabies, biology, she's just hitting the wall and she's freaking out emotionally or whatever the fuck. These are, feedback mechanisms that he needs to respond to, probably by leaving at this point. But even in general, if his next chick monkey branches, that's not a repeating pattern of behavior he's getting with his women. And there's only so much of that you can dump off in Western culture. A large, by and large, it's going to be your fault. It's going to be your fault in terms of your behaviors, and she's responding to them. And if you had her ass on lockdown, that would not be happening. If you were being the man that you want to be and satisfying yourself, she would be satisfied too. And there's a low chance that she'd be doing this behavior. It's still always possible. Women, do crazy ass shit. And human behavior itself is complex, and anything can happen in a relationship, especially over a long period of time, months and years and stuff. But yeah, most likely, as Steve says, it's his fault. It's happening. He needs to understand why it's happening, to learn about life and masculinity and about women. And that's an educational opportunity, the fact that it's happening, even if it sucks or it's annoying and stuff.
Okay, we've got another super chat question here. So big thanks to Sam Whiskey with the $2 super chat. He asks, why do mothers boss around their grown sons? Please, gentlemen, please let us learn. I'm not trying to bag on you, Sam, but let's learn the difference between there, and there. That's a pet peeve of mine. But what's the answer to that? Why, Steve, do mothers boss around their grown sons? You notice that a lot, particularly in the Black community.
Because these boys still have the umbilical cord attached to mommy. You've got to stop relating to mommy. You got to cut the umbilical cord. You got to be man. See, the problem with y'all guys is that even in the Black community, some of y'all want to date snow bunnies. Like, my boy Anthony now talking about Poland. Some of y'all want to date snow bunnies. But y'all won't do it because you're afraid of what mom may think.
That's right.
Mom tells you who to date. Mom tells you what to wear. Mom tells you how your clothes should be. Mom tells you what your furniture should look like, how you should have. You need to set your motherfucking mother aside and tell her, no, you can no longer tell me what to do. I love you enough to tell you this, and I love you enough to not talk to you if you keep this behavior up. This is y'all's problem. Y'all are relating to mommy too much, and you're letting mommy play daddy and mommy to you, or boyfriend, or it's some weird thing y'all allow your mothers to do to you. Cut the umbilical cord. Tell your mother I love you, but stop telling me what I can and cannot do. Stop judging me, and stop trying to tell me how to live my life. That is what men do. You gotta sever the cord and become your own man, Donovan.
Excellent. Anthony, what are your thoughts? Why do you feel like mothers boss around their grown sons?
Yeah, I got plenty of thoughts on this one. So, right away, that strikes me as unhealthy behavior. So not only obviously between the two of them, but she has an unhealthy relationship with men. If she's bossing around her own grown sons who are 20, 30, 40 something years old, there's something wrong there in her that she never resolved or healed. She got burned by daddy, got burned by men when she was younger. Who knows, right? There's a lot of things, that can happen. Even just things like death. Maybe she was young and her dad died of cancer or something like that. Who knows, right? And that left a scar and a wound that's expressing itself through the son and the relationship there. But I also fully agree with what Steve is saying. You need to shut that shit off. If you're a grown man, you need to act like it. You are your actions much more so than what you think. So you need to cut that shit off in action. And you can tell her that if those things are true, that you love her and you care about her, and also, I'm not going to take your shit, leave me the fuck alone. Those are mutually compatible and complementary. They're not exclusive to one another. You don't have to curse like that if you don't want to, obviously. It's your mother. But that level of intensity needs to be there if what she's showing you and the way she's behaving towards you is that controlling and not uncalled for. I would also say that a mother who's bossing around a grown son, that's a form of, you're an adult at that point, so you're past childhood, but that's like a form of maternal neglect. She's neglecting you as a parent to set you free and to leave you alone to be a man and to respect you as a man, as an adult. You'll always be her baby. She made you. You literally came out of her, most likely, unless you were cut out by a doctor. In either case, she grew you from scratch with your father's seed. But in terms of not allowing you on her own to be a man, that's a problem. And that's her failing to be a mother to you in some significant way later in life. And that's unfortunate. You need to watch out for that, not just with yourself, but also any children you end up having, your grandkids and stuff. You don't want that behavior, bumping off to them when you're not aware of it in the moment.
Right. Yeah, my answer to that is this goes back to red pill truth. A lot of men are hesitant to acknowledge red pill truth because they don't want to believe that the red pill female nature extends to their mothers, their grandmothers, their cousins, their aunts, their sisters, their own daughters in some cases. And when men are hesitant to acknowledge red pill truth, this makes them susceptible to being bossed around by their mothers. Now, a lot of professional athletes, a lot of black professional athletes, they're bossed around by their mothers all the time. I think they call them sunsbins or something like that. You can probably Google that. And there's all sorts of examples, stories about professional athletes who are literally run by their mothers. The main answer is, why do mothers boss around their grown sons? Because mom did a shitty job raising their sons. That's why. If your mother is able to boss you around, then she did a shitty job raising you. Which again points the immutable truth that we all talk about all the time. Women cannot raise men. Okay, they can raise adult men. They can raise adult males. They can't raise men. They can't. They are incapable of doing that. So if you're in a position where your mother continuously bosses you around, if you're asking her for permission to do or to think something at the age of 34 years old, that's a bad reflection on you, and it's a bad reflection on her. The short answer is why do moms boss around their grown sons? Because she's a shitty mom and you allow her to. I love my mother, but guess what? I don't let her boss me around, right? Like, that's just, I love my mother, and, you know, I'll talk to her and wish her happy Mother's Day and all that stuff, but I do what the fuck I want to do. And if my mom is disappointed, well, I'm very disappointed in you, Donovan. She's told me that a lot. I don't care. Like, she's my mom and I love her, but I'm a grown man. I know me better than she knows me. That's the bottom line. So the main reason why mothers boss around their grown sons is because they're shitty moms, and their grown sons aren't really grown. They're grown males. They're not men.
Well, it also sounds to me too, like you got to look at the relation where the father's at. If your father's still in her life, if they're married or whatnot, because if she's behaving that way with you, obviously there's no one around her that's putting her in her place to begin with. Otherwise, she wouldn't be acting like that, most likely. If she's acting like that with you, then there's something missing in her personal life that's causing that, I think.
Yeah. I just wanted to say real quick, and one thing that you guys got to be careful of is, one thing your mothers will do is try to guilt you into things, telling you that I raised you, I fed you, I worked 3 jobs for you. Yeah, I'm not going to say bitch, but I mean, goddamn, bitch, what you talking about? I didn't ask to be born. You had me. It was your responsibility to feed me. It was your responsibility to have a shelter over my head and clothes on my back. So don't you try to guilt me into doing things for you.
Yes, you can play the mom card.
Right. And if you continue this behavior, you and I can no longer have any type of communication until you change your attitude. That's how you got to talk to him, man.
Listen, I agree 100%, and do it respectfully, because she is your mother. But just because she made you doesn't mean she owns you, right? And a lot of moms, a lot of shitty moms like to play that mom card. Hey, I'm your mother, and I'm your son. I mean, I didn't ask to be born, right? Like, you're the one who did the horizontal mambo with dad, and out I came, right?
Yep.
You made the choice to get pregnant with me, so don't act like I then owe you just because you gave birth. Listen, you're my mother, and I'm going to give you that respect. I'm going to love you for the rest of my life and your life combined. But just because you birthed me does not mean you own me. That's just all there is to it. That's
and any kind of guilt tripping like that's a form of like emotional abuse. It's manipulation for sure, and it's not coming from a healthy place, 100%. So we got to shut it down. The same thing is true with your father. If your father, throws that shit at you, he could do the same thing. I made you, whatever, put food over, food on your plate, shelter over you. This is all bullshit. Even if it's true, it doesn't give them ownership over your life.
Well, dude, that's part of the contract, right? Like, again, I'm not on Bash Mom's Day or whatever like that, but moms are always quick to point out, well, I gave birth to you, and I took care of you, and I fed you, and I did this and that. You were supposed to do that. Like, that's what you're supposed to do anyway. It's like a goal.
And you can also just say, hey, grandpa went to war and fucking killed Nazis to make you safe, so you're welcome for my paternal lineage.
I'm not going to thank you for some shit that you're supposed to do anyway. Maybe on graduation day, hey, mom, thanks for being, a good mom, but I'm not giving you credit for shit you should be doing anyway, any more than men should give credit to women for shit that they should be doing anyway. To me, it's the same concept. It's the same concept. It's actually a pretty good comment by, dude, these fucking names, guys. I can't even pronounce half of these. He said, like Chris Rock said, people want credit for shit they're supposed to do. I hate people like that. Let's get back to the article and talk about number 9. Let me bring this up here quickly. Okay, so what we're doing is we're looking at an article that is entitled 10 Reasons Why Nice Guys Finish Last. We've talked about number 10. We're going to go to number 9 now. Reason number 9, no backbone. He says, quote, when she freaks out for no reason in a rude or arrogant way and you apologize and tolerate her behavior, you're a doormat that she doesn't respect, but you accept her bad behavior just because she's hot. Here's the lesson. Have boundaries and enforce them. No woman can be attracted to a guy she doesn't respect. If you let her walk all over you simply because you're desperate for her to like you, then you have already lost her. Being nice won't buy her respect, but standing up for yourself will. That's 100% red pill truth right there. Steve, what are your thoughts?
She knows that you're weak as soon as you approach her by everything you do. She just needs a reaffirming of that by shit testing you to see if you're the one that's going to apologize. She fucks up and you're the one apologizing. You're the one handcuffing, helicoptering, and being insecure. Always want to know where she's at, what she's doing. Why ain't she talking to you? Why is she doing all this? Man, she doesn't want you. And don't get me wrong. She may date you because of your nice car, your clothes, and money that you can do for her. But don't think she ain't talking to Anthony on the side. Don't think she ain't texting Donovan on the side, because these women need a balance. Whatever you're not giving her, she is going to go somewhere else and look for it elsewhere, gentlemen.
Absolutely. Anthony, what are your thoughts on number 9?
Not much to add on top of what Steve said. I mean, You need a backbone in life, and women need that backbone. They want you, the way we say this in the Red Pill and the Manosphere is they want you to be the rock. They don't want to be the rock. They hate that because they're not. Women are emotional roller coasters, both biologically and like psychologically. It's not what they're attuned to do, is to be steady and to be calm. And part of being steady and calm, a major component of it is having a fucking backbone. A masculine backbone built on masculine virtue, like strength, courage, mastery, and honor. So if you don't have that, I mean, that's a big turnoff, a huge turnoff. So you have to have that for yourself first, and for her second. She needs that, and it's not negotiable either. Like if you don't have that, I mean, you can have relationships. Men and women have relationships where the woman has the backbone and the man doesn't, and that's like super unhealthy and unnatural, and it makes everyone miserable and fucks everything up. So have a backbone. It'll make you a lot happier. It'll make her happier. It'll make her ride your dick and get wet.
Yeah, right. She'll test that backbone out. Listen, this is what we talked about earlier. Being a nice guy is just shorthand for saying you don't have a backbone. You let her walk all over you. And he nails it on the head. The reason why you put up with her bad behavior is because she's hot. Well, wait a minute. Why would he do that? Because you don't have the abundance mindset. You have a scarcity mindset. You have to understand, guys, she is not one in a million. She is one of a million. Steve said it at the top of the show. I can replace you with 5 other bitches right now if you don't watch yourself. Women need to understand that. You can either, now I'm not one to say stuff like that. I endorse showing it with your actions. She knows that with your actions, she can and will be replaced. And you do this by having backbone.
Your words can be interpreted as actions, especially if there's emotional intensity and tone to it. But I agree with you, Donovan, that more physical actions and behaviors and like life choices they're more effective. It's how she's going to read. Like verbally is not how they want to communicate usually. They want to communicate through body language and through life. They want to see for real, like the demonstrative stuff that you do.
Yeah, actions do speak louder than words. I think we can all agree on that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot or should not verbalize what you mean. Because sometimes the spoken word can have a very profound effect on a woman's psyche, just provided your frame and your game are on point and top notch. All right,
there can be real quick too. There can be big overlap on that. Like this is years ago at this point, but when I had my thing with Medusa that split, and then the video and all that shit came out, obviously you see a whole video that has these views and whatever. It's pretty long. It's like almost 2 hours or some shit. That's all words, right? But more importantly, what she saw in action was the ability and then the will to actually produce that video, give that presentation, and put it out to the world. So that's I think a good illustration of like words that are actually more importantly interpreted as actions. And that she's crazy or whatever, who cares? But that's like a large scale version of that. But even in a smaller version of it, it's kind of the same thing. Words can be actions if it's in the right context and there's the tone and the force behind it. They want to feel the power behind it, basically, and the emotions.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of guys take I like the strong silent type. Well, my girl likes the strong silent type, so I don't say a lot. No, what you're doing is you're covering up your fear of verbally checking your woman, which absolutely needs to be done. You verbalize the intent, okay? You enforce it with your actions. That's really how it works. Let's move to number 8. The 8th reason why nice guys finish last is you make excuses. He says, quote, you sit at home pouting that you're not rich enough or thin enough or pretty enough to meet and attract the type of women. Okay, you can tell this guy, English is probably not his first language. Rich enough, built enough, or good looking enough to meet and attract the type of women you really want. This prevents you from walking over to the women you see simply because you already assume that you're not good enough. And while you're sitting there hating the bad boy who's talking to her, he's thinking she's cute, but is she worth my time? Steve, that's right out of your book. This guy just plagiarized you. The lesson: you need to understand this if you ever wish to pull your dream girl. Her preferences don't matter. If women only dated pretty boys with money, most women would be single. Wow. It is how you look. It's not how you look that matters. It is how you make her feel that matters. There is a huge difference between being good looking and looking good. God damn. Steve, like, this guy sounds like he watches your show, man. What are your thoughts on that?
I get so tired of guys acting like women. They always want to complain about what they don't have instead of shining on what they do have. This is the thing why women don't want to fuck with most of y'all guys, because they don't want to deal with themselves. They love bitching about their dress sizes and I'm not this and my titties are too small and I feel bloated and all the other. That's how women talk. But when you start acting and talking that way, why would she want to be with herself like that?
Right.
She doesn't want to be with herself. And if you are saying all those things, then sit your ass on the sideline or hold her legs up while Anthony sends her dick pictures and pile drives her. I'm just fucking my dog, Anthony.
You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding.
That's real. But I'm just saying, though, at the end of the day, this is why y'all lose. Y'all are acting too much like women. And just enjoy what you have. And if you can change your body, which you can do, you can work out and change your body if you choose to. You cannot change your height, because you know what I saw? I fucking saw something on Facebook that almost made me throw up. They got this shoehorn thing that you put in your shoe to give you a few inches of height. Don't you do that shit, guys. What? Don't put no shoe shit.
So you're wearing high heels. Is that it?
Yeah, like you're wearing high heels and shit. Motherfucker, y'all ain't Prince. Don't be doing that. So what I'm saying to y'all guys is that you gotta accept what you have. Once you can accept it, then you can move on and be better, guys.
Listen, I agree with that 2,000%. And again, you guys have to understand, you can only control the things that are under your direct control. You can't control the way you look in the face. You cannot control your genetics. You can control the physical condition that you're in. You can control your financial status, and you can control your frame and game. This is where, see, again, just like Steve said, it is very, very feminine to worry about the cosmetics. And listen, I understand that guys worry and they're insecure about the way they look. This is part of the human condition. But what you have to understand is that we as men, what you're doing is you're inversely projecting that onto females. Yes, looks, money, and status absolutely matters. Looks, money, and status get you more opportunities with women, but game is what helps you to capitalize on those things. So worry about controlling your controllables. It is perfectly natural to worry, hey, I'm not looking good. Guys, get over that. That is what females do. It's not easy to get over if you live like that. But if you control what's under your control, your physical fitness, the way you sound, the way you look, you're going to be much more successful with women. And here is the line of this number 7 here. It's not how you look that matters. It's how you make her feel. Guys, girls, we are visually motivated creatures, we as men. If she doesn't look good, we're not interested. If we are not sexually attracted to her, there's no need for us to have anything to do with her. But women, not so much. Looks definitely matter to women, but not nearly as much as it matters to us. You can be the greatest looking guy on earth, If you don't make her feel something, if you don't make her laugh, cry, if you don't engender strong emotions from her or with her, for better or worse, she's gonna get bored. Girls would rather be with a not so good looking guy who takes her on those emotional roller coasters than be with a pretty boy who doesn't really make her feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to let's now move on to number 7. Number 7 is being nice triggers friend feelings. He says, quote, when you're saying, wow, you're just so beautiful. Sure, I'd love to give you a hand. What time do you need me and my buddies at your place to help you move? Can I pay for it? She's thinking, wow, this guy is super nice. He's going to make a really good friend. The lesson, you can't simply supersize how nice you are and expect that she's going to suddenly choose to become attracted to you. Attraction isn't about how nice you are. It is about how attractive you are. Learn about attraction, which is an unconscious emotional response, and you'll discover that there are many subtle ways you can turn her on, but being super nice isn't one of them. Listen, Steve, this again is right up your alley. Dude, paying for shit, helping her move.
I love them.
Oh, you're this and that and the other. What are your thoughts on this, man?
I love you guys, but for those that want to get out that bullshit, which y'all got to stop doing, listen, women love to hear men compliment them. It's not thirsty. They eat that up like it's a drug. They love hearing it from people that they want, people that they are attracted to. But the problem is you guys are going for likes. And the problem is all you guys do all the time, you'll do anything for her. You're always seeking permission. You're always tolerating her disrespect. You're always available. You're always putting up with her bullshit. And why do you think she wants to be with someone that weak? Think about that, man. Anthony, what do you got on that, fam?
Yeah, I got some thoughts on this that I think will be pretty fun for the audience. So, in the way this example is putting it, you're just so beautiful. I'd give you a hand. What time you need me and my buddies? I mean, holy shit! Now you bring buddies. Can I pay for it? It's what that's illustrating is like super excessive giving. And women do want you to give them some things like dick, like attention, dick being like a form of attention, right? A super physical one. But more importantly, what's been much more of a positive influence on my thinking with women after finding the red pill and the manosphere and stuff is women want you to take from them, which is counterintuitive, especially when you hear for years in the pickup artist community, like give, be a giver and all this bullshit, give value. Women want you to take. They want you to take control. They want you to take their heart. They want you to take their soul. They want you to take their body. They want you to take basically everything from them if you can get down that rabbit hole enough. And that doesn't mean like this domineering, over-aggressive, like weird shit. It's a very genuine thing when it's done right. And even this could even be like if she's fantasizing about being impregnated by you and stuff, what does that really mean? It means she wants you to take her DNA and make a fucking kid with it. So women want you to take, and when you're super nice and excessively giving all this stuff, that's the opposite of taking. They want you to take from them in ways that they want to give you. So they don't want you to like probably take money from them and all this shit, right?
Right.
But yeah, women want you to take from them, and giving and being excessively nice is the opposite of taking. And that's exactly what that guy's not doing. He's not taking her in the way he wants. He's just endlessly giving her shit, hoping that it'll pan out to her riding his dick all of a sudden. It's actually the opposite behavioral pattern of what gets guys laid. Guys who are alpha assholes, they use her time the way he wants to. They use her body the way he wants to.
Right. He
talks to her the way he wants to because he's taking control of the interaction, whether it's in the bedroom, whether it's a social conversation out in public they just met, whether it's taking her on a date and taking her through this emotional night process for this whole little journey, even if it's just 2 hours and then you guys end up banging or something, or even 20 minutes or something. Even, I've been girls in 10 minutes flat that walk on my door, like right over the left here. And that's been like this whole little, thing for me to figure out how to do. You don't need to do that every time, obviously. But that's a small and a very rapid example of me taking what I want. And they fucking love it. They're absolutely livid with it. You can see the joy in their eyes when that's done properly. When some dude actually knows how to do that and they're like, holy fuck, they fall into that frame because you're taking lead. I mean, look at leadership. What is leadership? We call it taking lead.
That's right.
You're taking
a lead, yes.
And they want you to do that. And that's the opposite of what feminism and blue pill propaganda has taught men. to give your time, give your attention, give your money, give your resources, give your friendships, anything and everything to her. That's not what she wants. She wants to give her heart to you and to give everything to you. Even if it's just for a night or if it's for years or for a lifetime, they want you to take that shit too. They don't just want to give it to you. They want to give it to you when you fucking take it. It's a beautiful thing. Put it in Steve the Dean Williams terms. Beautiful thing, baby.
Say yeah, I mean behind that, brother.
Yeah, I mean, son.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to a question here in the chat. Beta Male Strategies wants to know, what do you do if your girl caught you lying and she has a legitimate reason to argue? Steve?
I would say I hope that girl calls me up and tells me that you lied to her, and I'll be happy to let her know that you'll never have to worry about me lying to you, because I'm a real goddamn man and I don't need to lie to you. This is the problem with y'all guys. Why do you have to lie to something that bleeds once a month?
Dude,
I will never understand.
that man.
So you need to explain to me what the lie was and why did you feel that you had to lie to somebody?
Yeah,
And
Beta Male Strategies, put that in there, man. Why?
right.
And why did you lie about it?
Yeah,
And
why did you lie?
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Steve. I didn't know you were done.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I just want to know what the lie is first, because I want to know how big the lie is before I say something. I like to know what it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Anthony, what you got on this, man?
Yeah, I mean, like Steve's saying, if you're lying to women, like, you need to check yourself. Like, why are you doing that? I don't know if you need to immediately shut it off. Like, there's probably a whole series of fucking motivations you have for doing that, regardless of how big the lie was or how small the lie was. But in terms of her, having legitimate reason to argue, look, man, at the end of the day, the feelings are what matters to her. And there's almost no limit, maybe there is no limit, to how important her feelings are to her. And if she feels that aroused by you and is that emotionally attached to you and connected to you, she'll forgive basically anything. And so that's kind of the legitimacy portion of that doesn't really matter, because that's not that important to her. The emotional responses are what matters to her. She's probably hurt, because you lied to her. There's a lack of trust and maybe, comfort in that. You've broken rapport is what you've done. But to her, you gotta think in her shoes. And her shoes are emotional shoes. They're not logical, rational, legitimate reasons to argue. Women don't want to argue, especially not, they might argue amongst each other and backstab each other and all this bullshit, right? But with men, they don't want to argue with you, even if it's a legitimate reason. They want to be dominated. They want to be led. They want to know that things are okay. Maybe they want to be scared sometimes a little bit. And that could be one of the things going on. But yeah, the lying itself, you're focused on reality is what that tells me. Like, you lied. Okay, why the fuck did you do that? But you lied about something real, because it sounds like she has a real reason to argue, right? But that doesn't matter to her. Her feelings are what matters to her. And her feelings are not reality. They're responses to reality. So you got to put yourself in her shoes and understand that that's her position on it, is the feelings and the emotions are always higher. Like earlier, and I think number 9 or whatever the fuck it was in that little list, I wanted to say that, even the biggest gold digger in the world is still obsessed with emotions, and that the gold digging, and even if she's a, crazy clusterfuck or whatever, it's still emotions, and that the depth of that is limitless. And same thing here, some argument or some lying and all this bullshit. It's still emotional to her primarily. And the facts of it are going to take a backseat to that, most likely.
Well, to me, there are two main reasons why men lie to women. From a pickup standpoint, if you're courting a woman, if you're lying to a woman about who and what you are, this means that you shouldn't be out talking to women. And the reason I say that is because if you feel like you have to lie to women about who and what you are, then your value is not high enough. You can't simply stand on your own merits, right? You got to tell girls, yeah, I own a yacht, or I know this guy, or I make this amount of money. Even if what you're saying is true, even if you're leading with your wallet and tell a woman I make $250,000 a year, even if that's the truth, you got to stand on your own 2 feet in terms of your manhood. I always say this: discovery is better than disclosure. Don't tell her you make $250,000 a year. Let her discover. It's gonna have a much more profound effect. But a lot of men lie to women in the beginning to try to impress women. And
let's clarify here too, though. He's saying you're a girl, like, relationship.
Well, no, I'm getting that actually leads me to number 2.
Okay.
The second main reason why men lie when they're in relationships is because you are afraid of your woman. Okay. The reason you lie to your woman is because you're afraid of her response, right? You're afraid to tell her this tastes bad or you look bad in that. Or I don't know, maybe there was cheating, whatever the case may be. And if you cheat, don't get caught. That's always rule number one. But the main reason men lie to their significant others is because they are scared. They're scared of the reaction. And women know this. If you lie to your woman about something, from something serious all the way down to inconsequential, she's going to think, dude, if this guy lies to me, he's afraid of me. And if he's afraid of me, I can't respect this guy.
It needs to be said too at the same time that, you know, for whatever reason, some dudes are just more manipulative than others. This is how they operate and shit like that. At the end of the day, man, look all over Instagram, and Facebook, and millions of women who go through these relationships over and over and over again with liars and cheaters. The harsh truth is that women love liars and cheaters.
Yes.
It's like a love-hate relationship, and they just keep going through it. And one of the reasons for that with lying is a power move. It means you've acted, it's a dishonest scumbag kind of thing to do, but you've acted in a way that has exerted power on her covertly behind the scenes, which is kind of womanly and feminine and shit like that. And that has its own issues. I think that's what Steve hates about it, and rightly so. It's not masculine to do this, but women respond to it, is the reality of it regardless.
Yeah.
For whatever fucking reasons, evolution or whatever, they love liars. And that's why if you look at some hot girl's Instagram, she dates dudes, the same dude over and over again, usually the same character. Slightly different body composition from dude to dude. The lying, the cheating, the food, it's all the same bullshit over and over and over again. They're stuck in a stupid behavioral pattern is what it is.
Right, here's my question. Did he even answer what? See, this is my problem, A1. We asked him to tell us what the fuck he lied about. He hasn't even posted what he lied about. And this goes to show me that you ain't, man, this is why women treat y'all weak. Like, y'all can't even talk to real men and tell us what you lied about. We ain't dating you.
Right.
We asked you a simple arithmetic 2 + 2 is 4 question.
And he's still watching. He's still
watching. That's why, look, you know what? That's why your woman is fucking somebody right now, if you want to know the truth. And that's why she is just sitting around gorging you for your money, because she knows you're weak and spineless, and you ain't shit, dog. You can't even tell us, and I say that with all respect, though. You can't even tell us why you lied or what the lie is. So apparently it must be some real bullshit, Anthony, if he can't tell us, man.
Well, we're assuming if he told us, it would even be true. And at this point, we don't even know that. We just have to assume that it's being presented honestly.
Well, this is why his screen handle is of course beta male strategies.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to number 6. The sixth way this guy points out in terms of why nice guys finish last, and it is reason number 6 says it's because you spill your guts. He says, quote, instead of taking your female friend out, who you secretly had a crush on for years, to have fun, drinks, and a possible bedroom adventure, you've decided that taking action is too risky, and have chosen the logic of a handwritten love letter explaining all of the deep desires you have for her and how you plan on ultimately sweeping her off her feet. Basically, you turn creepy out of fear of being too aggressive. Here's the lesson. Love letters and other over-the-top romantic gestures have way more power when she's already attracted to you. I disagree with that. And when you're well into a relationship, not before you have a relationship. This is just creepy. Take action, and lead her on a fun dating adventure with you is always way more powerful than using words. Yes, actions speak louder than words. You cannot logically convince a woman to become attracted to you, but you can influence her body's emotions while with you. Bring her mystery, adventure, and fun, and she will start to feel those feelings, be a man, and take action. Dean, your thoughts?
Well, the thing with about action is that there's got to be a reason for that action to happen. You know what I mean? A woman is going to move towards you when she knows. It's the same thing. Feeling safe, feeling secure. We've already discussed this. I don't want to kind of beat a dead horse, but we've already kind of like talked about it already and everything. What reason if she, okay, let's say she met Anthony on Monday, she met you on Wednesday, Donovan, and she's got a man or she's dating this guy. What's so special about this guy? Because she's always going to compare. And because whatever the guy's not giving her, she's going to look somewhere else, man. It's just cut and dry, brother.
Anthony, what are your thoughts on this? You don't take action. You write her little love letters. You spill your guts.
Yeah, that's super dicey shit. So I'm in line with you on that, Donovan. I mean, stuff like that, stuff like that can work in certain contexts. But yeah, it's super fucking dicey, man. Like when a girl perceives you as alpha, you can do almost anything. Is the reality of it. That shit, or even whatever the fuck else you want. As long as that frame holds true in her head, emotionally and psychologically, she'll let you do whatever you want, and she'll just reinterpret it to be, specialized alpha behavior for her. But if you do too much of it, obviously you'll ruin that. I'll say this, the other night I went out to a bar with a rose with a buddy of mine. I had this like little red rose. It was a real rose, and dude, it was the most savage fucking prop I've ever brought out to a bar in my life.
A rose?
A rose, dude. Women, I fucked with it so good.
How did you? I've never heard of that. What happened?
I heard about this in the pickup community a long time ago. Like I heard someone wrote a field report about it, and I didn't think a lot about it, and I haven't really thought about it since. But I happened to have this rose, so I brought it with me to this bar, and my sister actually encouraged me. I was like, "Yeah, should I bring this rose to this bar?" She's like, "Oh fuck yeah, women are gonna die." And sure as shit, all night, women loved it, and it wasn't this over the top romantic thing. I'd be using like a microphone. I'd be like speaking to the rose, and they'd just be like, "What?" I'd be handing out little petals and shit, and they'd be like, "Oh, is it for me?" I'm like, "No, it's mine. You can't have it, bitch." Just shit like that. And then so this is an over the top romantic item that was used in a good context. I ended up getting kicked out of the bar. This fat girl, she got really mad when I was talking to her hot friend. She like broke it, and then I threw it at her, and they kicked me out. But whatever. Yeah, but women loved it. Like I've never seen it. Made the hat irrelevant. Like I wear the hat out too. Usually the Make Women Great Again hat. And that's a super attention grabber, obviously. And the rose overshadowed the hat by a mile, which was very surprising to me. That was like a big thing.
Rose game.
But anyway, but not rose game. I'm gonna do it again. Shit's savage as fuck, dude. Like I'm making my buddies do it too, man. You just walk around with roses all night, dude. And you can make up stories and shit too. I was like, yeah, can you believe this bitch fucking didn't come out and meet up with me and shit, blah, blah, blah. This is all just made up nonsense as I'm going through the night, like I'm drinking, just making shit up. But anyway, so romantic stuff, it can work. It can work in pickup scenarios like that. That was actually surprising how powerful that was as a prop, as we'd call it in the pickup community. But even later in a relationship, you can make anything work, but it's dicey when you do that stuff if you don't know what you're doing.
About that
and I'm not the average dude. Like I've been through a lot of stuff to pick up. So,
right, we're gonna switch gears here, guys, and we're gonna talk about something that Alan Roger Curry talked about on Twitter. Alan Roger Curry has officially separated himself from the quote-unquote manosphere because the manosphere the manosphere has always been under a microscope for many, many different reasons. But we had 2 mass shootings within a 48-hour period last weekend, and so articles like this are starting to make their way around the internet. And I'm just going to read a little bit of this, and I just like us to have sort of an open panel discussion on the implications of this. What do we do? How do we tell people, hey, the manosphere is not a bunch of misogynistic assholes who want to kill women, but we love women very much, but this is what we're about. So this article was posted on The Atlantic, and the title, it was written by Helen Lewis. It was published, what is this, August 10th. It was published just a few days ago. It says, to learn about the far right, start with the manosphere. The underscores the sexist world has become a recruiting ground for potential mass shooters. Dude, that in and of itself is very, very dangerous. So let me just read the first couple of paragraphs here, and we'll just wax poetic on this. She says, quote, most mass shooters are men. Sophie Walker, the former leader of Britain's Women's Equality Party, tweeted that fact as soon as 51 people were killed by a gunman in Christchurch, New Zealand. In response, she was deluged with angry emails and accused of playing the gender card. A BBC journalist told her, not sure now was the right time to make this about gender, Sophie. Only she did not, quote, make this about gender. The shooters themselves did that, the article says. The idea that feminism is decadent and destroying Western civilization. The idea that woman's natural role is to have children and to be subservient to men. The idea that strong men are needed to save the world through violence. All of these arguments are found across extremist websites and in the words of shooters themselves. Anti-feminist rhetoric is a powerful gateway to violent white nationalism, and it is calculated to appeal to the demographic overwhelmingly responsible for mass shootings, young white men. These are pretty damning. These are pretty damning statements here. And listen, I don't want us to get into semantics. I don't want us to get into hyperbole, but the author here does make a point. It appears that the demographic that is overwhelmingly responsible for mass shootings are young white men. This is just how it is. And so this article and other articles like this are the reasons why men like Alan Roger Currie are saying, all right, listen, I'm going to continue with the Mode 1 approach, but I am no longer a part of the manosphere. I'm no longer going to verbally say that I am part of the manosphere. Now, Anthony, this is your territory. This is absolutely unapologetically the manosphere. What do you think about articles like this? And does this help or hurt the manosphere, the purveyors and the consumers?
Yeah, I got plenty of thoughts in this article. So first of all, it's complete bullshit the way this has been worded and strung. I mean, this is a narrative she built. This wasn't like an actual analysis of what's happening in the world. Calling the manosphere a gateway to white nationalism or some shit. This is delusional. The manosphere has existed for well over 25 years in its current form since the 90s with the rise of the internet, alt-fat seduction, Ross Jeffries, guys like Alan Roger Currie, Hypnotica, Mystery. Steve the Dean was around back then doing his thing. So the idea that this is some gateway to white nationalism is fucking delusional. This is absolute political propaganda that they're using, and they're weaponizing against the community. And I think they're attacking the community, and that's actually a good thing. They're attacking it because it's a signal to us, and it's a sign that it has value, that it's doing things. Them trying to blame like all these mass shootings, like in New Zealand, and all this bullshit, like across the world, on the manosphere, which is primarily like American and Canadian and things, it's just retarded. It's retarded beyond retarded, and it's vicious. And they're attacking a very positive and healthy community. It's not perfect, and the manosphere has real problems. Right. No doubt. It always has. But I think it's overall gotten better over the years, not worse. And the decades, actually, as it's matured and aged. The fact that we have the Red Man Group show, that we have the 21 Convention, that we have our individual podcasts and shows and companies, that we even had, we built a fatherhood event, a real life conference just a few months ago in Florida for fathers and patriarchs and men. I mean, these are very positive developments in our community. And so these attacks on it, it should be expected. I mean, what else is fake news, mainstream news going to do when they see a positive, healthy movement, a counterbalance to the negativity and insanity of feminism? The manosphere is a pretty rational place. Reason is respected pretty well in logic among all the communities, the pickup artist community, the MGTOWs, the MRAs, and the Red Pill community. Even though there's like serious disagreements between these little tribes, there's a real respect for reason and rationality and focusing on truth and reality. And yeah, so this gateway to white nationalism and hate and extremism is just nonsense. Feminism is the real extremism. I mean, the idea that, the manosphere is some extreme, Nazi bullshit or something is crazy. Feminists are marching around the streets trying to abolish, innocent until proven guilty. They're raving about, they're demonizing masculinity itself through the American Psychological Association. You have major multi-billion-dollar companies attacking masculinity like Gillette, Procter & Gamble and stuff. So that article is a dystopian, Orwellian 1984 kind of article, as I see it. This is complete, absolute nonsense. The real extremist hate supremacist movement is feminism that tells men and fathers. Oh, it's like it froze. Let me fix my camera.
No, you're good.
Oh, we'll see if it gets back going again. You can still hear me there, right?
Yeah, I can definitely still hear you.
Yeah. So yeah, the real, as I've talked about at the 21 Convention several times, the real hate supremacist and evil fucked up movement of insanity is feminism. This is a movement that demonizes the best of masculinity, the best of men, the best of fatherhood, things that built the world and civilization in the countries we live in as we see it and experience it today. And these people have fucked up values and philosophies, and that's why they hate the manosphere and they hate men. They're little feminist little tyrants is what they are. They hate men, they hate masculinity, they hate daddy. I can guarantee you 99% of them had bad relationships with their father. Dad didn't buy me a pony, therefore I'm gonna fucking hate men for the rest of my life and not heal and deal with my own bullshit.
Right.
So it's just horrible. As far as Alan, though, leaving the manosphere, I was kind of sad to see that. But I do think I can. Well, you guys will see soon enough of the video I'm putting out. But I think I can lead the manosphere in a very positive way, and then it needs that leadership. And the 21 Convention is a huge part of that. The offline manosphere, the premier event that we have, and I think we can bring Alan back into the fold at some point through logic and persuasion. Alan's an awesome dude. I mean, top to bottom. And I don't blame him for being pissed and wanting to distance himself from the manosphere. It's being smeared. It's being slandered is what's happening. But the manosphere, I believe, fundamentally is very positive, very healthy, very rational. And it's the first movement in the world. It's an emerging movement of men who are organizing together for the interests of men and the interests of fathers and the interests of masculinity. Very positive masculinity, real ass shit, man mindset kind of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I mean.
Your thoughts on
So fuck these losers. Manosphere is awesome,
Right.
and it's one of the most important movements in the world right now, in my opinion.
But A1, for the first time in my life, I'm going to disagree with you, and I'm going to tell you why. Because this is where you're 1,000% wrong, brother. The thing is, you are about integrity, honesty, and all those things. There are other people out there that are trying to say their manosphere. See, what you're doing is you're trying to teach men how to understand manhood, understand the life, understand what's going on. You do that. But this thing called a manosphere is that there are people claiming to be manosphere,
Yes.
but then what they're doing is they're turning around and trying to sit and trying to harm people like you because you are a threat. You are a threat. And then, like I say, I never disagree with you, but you're wrong because they're not you. And guys, I'm not kissing his ass. I'm just calling a fucking spade a spade. What he does is manosphere. But there are a lot of people out there that want to claim manosphere, but send cronies on the shows like this to dislike the show, or they'll send cronies to bother, manipulate, or try to threaten people. That's where I have the disagreement.
I agree with you, Steve. I mean, there's, like I said, there's definitely unhealthy components of the manosphere. There's reasons for that. And I'll say this too, any kind of legitimately, genuinely positive change in a movement this large that's been going on for this long is going to stir up drama and conflict resolution and arguments, people getting pissed off, taking sides and all these things.
Right. But
so it's not any movement that has, if feminism turned around tomorrow and turned into some positive movement, you would see a civil war break out among them and they'd be at each other's throats.
Yep.
That's of course not happening. And that's why it continues to be the shit show of a movement that's horrible for everyone. It makes women miserable and men and destroys nations.
Right. And I talked to Alan, and I'm not going to talk about the details we talked about, but Alan is guilt by association. It's not you, Anthony. This has nothing to do with you because this is not you why he's leaving. I think I don't want to put the words in his hand why he's going is because it's not just white people that are shooting up shit. Then you got people of all races, number one. Okay. Number two, when you look at some of the what you call the black manosphere or whatever, all they do is complain.
All they do is complain, dude.
All they do is black women ain't shit. They just shit, and it just all they do is whine like a bunch of women. And then you got other people. Then you got people that like a cult, Anthony and Donovan. A thing about a cult is they take people who are like just confused, and
downtrodden.
Right, they put their arm around and say it's okay, follow us, and we're going to show you can go your own way, and you can. Then we talked about yesterday. Listen, I just like I say, I was before all of this because I just stay on my side of the street. But why I resonated with Anthony is because he's teaching values that were always taught on the street: loyalty, respect, honor, integrity, courage. That's why I had to disagree with him because he's doing it. But do you see that with all these other people that are claiming manosphere? No, they're talking about trying to destroy something that can help young men become great adults. And unfortunately, because of all that, That's where you get people that are angry, bitter, and mad because they're confused, because they can't get a woman, and yet they still keep getting pumped in bad information. So then when they do something, then they try to claim manosphere, and that's not the manosphere. Those are what I call false prophets, or for you biblical motherfuckers, antichrist, that come along here and try to do something that is not, man. That's all I want to say on that, brother.
I can back up some things Steve said here too. In terms of mass shootings, the one you see publicized the most of white shooters, but the stats on it are actually a lot different. It's very diverse. How many, what kind of races and things, pop off shootings. I think the actual definition from the FBI for mass shooting is anything involving over 4 fatalities or whatever, people getting shot. And if you actually look at that definition of mass shootings, they happen all the time. It's just these ones that get really big where 20-something people get shot up or something. That's what gets all the publicity and the attention, and it fits a narrative that they want to dig into. When some dude who's Muslim lives up in Canada, rents a van, runs everybody over, that shit's in and out of the news cycle in a heartbeat.
Right.
When a woman, I don't know, was she vegetarian? A vegetarian YouTuber woman goes to the YouTube headquarters in California, and now she's a female shooter, and she shoots up the fucking place and then kills herself. That gets in the news, and then it's immediately removed as soon as possible. It doesn't fit the narrative of white men are evil, masculinity is evil, fatherhood's evil, men are useless, boys are fucking fucked up and violent. So they're always building a narrative, and whatever fits the narrative, they expand, and whatever doesn't, they want to minimize and get rid of as fast as possible. So anyone's capable of mass shootings. Violence happens all the times. I know black on black crime, for example, like super huge, violent. I've seen black women on YouTube screaming about it, which is kind of interesting. She's like, "You're the most violent motherfuckers I've ever seen." But every race has its problems. Every race is like a little tribe. And as far as mass shooters, though, with the manosphere, I mean, these are not men that we want anything to do with. And them trying to ascribe these men to us, they're grasping at straws. The New Zealand guy, for example, and all this shit. Like, what the fuck? That has nothing to do with any of this.
No.
If this was, Roosh V or fucking, someone like that coming out doing a mass shooting, that's a lot different.
Yes.
But that has never fucking happened to my knowledge, not any meaningful way. They just want to latch onto it and ascribe anyone. It's like the CNN did a hit piece on the red pill like about a year or two ago.
Yeah, I remember some guy said that he had tried the red pill and he was worse than he was.
Dude,
and all that other kind of stuff.
99% chance that was complete bullshit. They just found some dude, to be a little patsy, like a fucking guy for that.
A guy who thought he was getting a cheat code, and when he figured out that you can't lie your way, you can't scheme your way, you can't pee your way into a woman's panties. Oh, the red pill doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nonsense. They're trying to just burn shit down. It's positive. What else do they do?
My take on this is here's my take on this. It didn't surprise me when Alan Roger Curry decided to separate himself from the manosphere, because Alan has a brand, Alan's brand, the Mode 1 brand, that's been around for 3+ decades. And he's very careful. That is his life's work, and he's not going to have it destroyed just by, a few articles or a few misinformed people. But I will say this, the manosphere at large, what we do is we give information, we give actionable advice for men to improve themselves. Yes, some of that actionable advice requires us to point out some of the bad in the world. We have to talk about, we can't offer solutions if we don't at least talk about the problems. But like Steve said, the black manosphere in particular seems hell bent on just, there's one guy in particular, all he does is complain. And it gets to a point to where if you can only complain so much before people start to tune you out. But then you get people who don't tune you out. They continue to listen to that complaining, and they've already got it in them that they're already angry, they're already upset, and then they go out and do something stupid. Here's something else I'll tell you. Here's something else I'll point out. There's some very dangerous people out there who are dangerous to men who call themselves red pill. Okay? There are a lot of men out there, and I don't really know all of them, but I know of a few of them. These are the men that endorse take away women's rights. Okay, listen, that may or may not be the solution, but that's not going to happen. We're not, guys, this ain't the 1950s, no matter how much we want it to be. We need to deal with what is. We don't need to bitch and moan about, well, back in my day. It's not back in my day anymore. This is the hand that we're dealt. Women are fucked up, and you either listen. It's survival of the fittest. You either evolve and become good with women, or you get left behind. That's how it goes. Most men who get left behind tend to go into a shell. Very few of those men, they lash out and they do mass shootings. Something Steve said really sort of resonated with me. And this is when men find the red pill when they are downtrodden. And the red pill, it's almost kind of like a religion. People like to call it a cult. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It doesn't matter. It improves lives. Call it whatever you want. But men or people don't look for the church when their lives are great, right? When life is great, they're making a lot of money, they're swimming, they have a big family, they're successful, and if they're not overly religious, they're not going to seek out the church. But if their wife leaves them, if they leave, if their job goes away, if they lose their job, if she gets custody of the kids, now all of a sudden he's looking for something to latch onto. And women as well. In area code 512, I see you in the queue. I'm going to get to you in just a second. The red pill is much the same way. If a man is swimming in pussy, if a man is great with women, if he's got 8 girlfriends and he's slaying it with women, there's really no need for him to find the red pill. But when all of a sudden he hits a slump or he figures out, wait a minute, I can't get women anymore. He's on a 5-year slump. Well, then what the hell do I do? How do I get girls? It leads them to the red pill. The last point I make is this. The reason why these people are trying to connect mass shooters to red pill truth is it's something that I pointed out years ago, but this is what I'm going to say. It's my assertion that every male mass shooter is just bad with women. That's just all there is to it. I'm not going to sit here and say, listen, if he were good with women, that would have prevented a mass murder. I think maybe it probably could have. Because men who go out and they shoot places up, these are men who are not happy with themselves. This isn't to say that women are the cure-all. We know that we don't need women, but we want them. But one underlying, the common denominator with most, if not all of these mass shooters, is that they're probably not very good with women. If a man is good with women, whether he's good at his job, sucks at life, if he's decent with women, he's usually pretty content with himself. And so when these people go out and they shoot up a bunch of places, chances are they're probably bad with women. So the red pill does save lives in that regard.
I wanted to add, Donovan, that I have a plan to clean up the manosphere that's about to begin.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Not every little goddamn nook and cranny of it, but a very positive kind of thing is about to happen. So we'll see how that goes and what kind of consequences and benefits that has to our community that I love, and that I consider myself a son of the manosphere. Something I realized not too long ago, that the manosphere is a community that I've quite literally grown up in, along with various other millennials that by the thousands who found this community, the pickup artist community or whatever component of it, and they've grown up with that. I found it in 2005 when I was 17 years old. I was still in high school. And since then, it's been a daily part of my life in one form or another, obviously with business, but even beyond that, just being in part of the forums and the communities and the shows and all these things. And having a voice, and in my case, having a voice and being publicly known by my real name. But I care about it a lot. And that's why I'm willing to fight for it and defend it and go to bat for it to the end.
Okay, good stuff. We've got a super chat question in here. Again, area code 512. I'm going to get to you in just a second. Again, the priority is this. We go super chat questions, the phones, and then the other questions. So Nick's the Observer asks us, when do you guys believe the Matrix was created? And if a woman asks, do you believe in gender roles? How would you respond to that? The Matrix was created with first wave feminism. This is what happened. In the 1960s, I don't know exactly what year it was, but when first wave feminism started, that's when the Matrix started to sort of create itself. Men and women are equal. Men and women are exactly the same. Women should run the household, et cetera, et cetera. If a woman asks me, do I believe in gender roles? My question would be, well, it depends upon how you define gender roles. There's the feminist version of gender roles, and then there are the real gender roles. What say you? And then you just bounce it back and forth. So what you're asking, Nick's the Observer, is you're asking us, how do we respond to a woman asking about traditional gender roles without looking? No, listen, be straight up. Don't be afraid of women. Well, what do you think? You're not one of those people who thinks women should be in the kitchen, do you? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. So if you're not with that, then we got a problem. Steve, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think the Matrix was created a long, long time. I think we've always been in one, and just like a virus in a computer, like you said, I think just something came along, a virus that came along, a Trojan. They used to call, I guess they used to call them Trojan,
That's Trojan horse.
yeah, Trojan horse. Something came along, but this Trojan horse had its own protective shell. And then it started to like you say, it kind of connects to you, kind of connects to the, taking the fathers out of the homes and all that other stuff. And then it just kind of spent off to, what we want to have a voice, or kind of like the homosexuals, they got together, and nowadays you can't say anything about them, because you say something bad to them, it's bad.
They all come after you.
They all come after you, right? So I think these women were thinking long term, and I could tell guys, women are smart, because I think they were saying, you know what, if they won't change for us, then we will create the change, because we will have the kids, we will inform them what we want, we will make them our judges, our lawyers, our congressmen, and all these other things, and we will destroy it from within if they choose to. So I think the Matrix is going on. But I just think that this virus, or this Trojan horse, came in with protection from the Smiths, because they've created also the Smiths in here, and the agents and stuff. I mean, I'm not trying to get all deep, but I'm gonna go into the next as far as the gender roles and stuff like that. Yeah, I believe. Hey, I'm old school. I believe in gender roles. Period. I'm sorry. I believe everybody's got a place. And your place is never above me unless I'm letting you ride my face or my dick.
Nice.
That,
Jesus.
Anthony, what are your thoughts on this? So, when do you believe the Matrix was created? And if a woman asks you, okay, they call you the wet dream, what do you think of gender roles?
Daddy dream. Actually, I prefer daddy dream, but I'll take wet dream, I suppose.
There you go.
I haven't got that one from women as of yet. So I believe the Matrix, the way, if I'm understanding the question right, what this guy's looking for, I would say the 1910s, so about 100 years ago.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so you saw in that decade, you saw a lot of horrible shit go down. You saw the institution of the income tax, which I think was devastatingly bad for America. You saw World War I, this giant clusterfuck, America get dragged into it, and things like that. And then you saw the woman get the right to vote without the associated responsibility of, well, many responsibilities, but particularly the responsibility and the duty to be drafted, which I'm not even a fan of. I don't think the draft is a good thing. I think it's a bad thing, but it's very specific, and it's lopsided even to this day it's for men, not for women. So I think in that decade, we saw a lot of horrible things that have spawned off and created endless amount of problems for America and for the West. America being a leader, and then everything kind of filters out and seeps down to the countries around us. Women getting the right to vote, though, I think was the worst thing that happened, because it was a divorce and the end of equality between rights and responsibilities.
Right.
That was the day that no longer held true. And before that time, that held true for the most part. And men and women were able to negotiate a pretty good country to live in that had serious problems still that will be resolved later. But in terms of gender dynamics, that's when shit really went off the rails. And that eventually spawned into second wave feminism and the insanity we saw with that. And then third wave feminism. And now fourth wave insanity that's now, trying to turn, it's all this tranny bullshit. Pedophilia is a sexual preference.
At this point, Anthony.
Well,
right?
always
Yeah,
it's always been, feminism has always had a very ugly side. That's why they never wanted, it's the worst elements of womankind and femininity personified in a disorganized movement, a loosely organized giant movement of shit. It's a toxic shithole of spirit and of rationality and of all these things. But yeah, women getting the right to vote without the responsibility to be drafted right away back then, that was the beginning of a very bad, that decade was horrible for the country and for America. And I think for the majority of what we've seen since then, the accumulating national debt that started right around then and has escalated out of control. Women, going off the rails today, they see all the insane shit we see. It all started then. And I don't think that taking women's right to vote away is a solution. I don't agree with that at all. But I do think that divorcing rights and responsibilities was a huge mistake. And we're still paying for the consequences of that to this day. And there does need to be a solution to that problem, but we still need to figure out what that is. And I think it's the task of the manosphere to resolve that and make a better future, a masculine future.
Okay, good stuff. 914-205-5356. That is the number to call if you want to get in on the show. Let's go to area code 512. You're on Live with the Redman Group. Go ahead.
This is a response to a comment you made a couple weeks ago, Donovan, about your mom and, hanging out with other military wives. How important if you get married, how do you control your wife's social circle? I mean, because women are just going to be like, the other women that they hang around with. Do you guys agree with that or not?
Yeah. Listen, birds of a feather. Women are, we say this all the time, is you are the company you keep. I think there's another saying out there that says something to the effect that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So your question is how do you control a woman's social circle? I know what my answer is. Steve, I want to get your thoughts on this.
Well, as long as the social circle is women, I have no problem with what she does, as long as she can do whatever she wants around her friends. But when I'm in her presence or she's with me, she better act right. Bottom line. I don't have time to play games with her. And my thing is this: don't put my business out on the street. When I find out you put my business on the street, then you and I are gonna have to have a little conversation. No abuse, just a conversation. But I don't do the social circle with the male friends. I don't do that. I don't do that Seinfeld, How I Met Your Mother, Beverly Hills 90210 type bullshit. I don't do that.
Okay, Anthony, I'm fairly certain you heard the question. Did you hear the question the caller asked?
Yeah. My audio stays consistent. It's the video that I keep having an issue with.
Okay, yeah. All right, go ahead, Anthony. What are your thoughts on his question?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you guys just said. That the people you hang around with, male or female, are going to reflect on you in a very large sense, or it's very easy to become like them. So you need to watch who she's hanging out with. Also, no hanging out with male friends and shit. No. That's super weird. I don't think I was actually talking the other day with a friend of mine, and I really don't think that men and women can even be friends.
No, they can't. No.
Yeah, but I don't mean that in the sense that men and women can't have positive relationships. Obviously, they can. Intimately, among family, things like that. I have a great relationship with my older sister. That's it's awesome. But I also the reason I bring that up is I think the English language is lacking a word for male female friendship like that. That's not unhealthy and weird, and most of them are, and that's why it doesn't exist. That's why saying that men and women are they're friends, like they're not. It's bullshit. 99.9999% of the time. There's always a sexual component and risk there. As far as controlling your social circle, I don't have a lot of direct experience to speak from on that. I'd say listen to Donovan and Steve on that. And also, but at the same time, she needs to be able to, you shouldn't have to do a lot of micromanaging is what comes to mind. Like you shouldn't have to do all this domineering stuff where you're dictating every little thing in her life. She should be behaving in a way that responds to your values. And if you have that unlocked and she is in your frame, most of that should clear itself up. And then a little bit of from time to time, you fix things up manually.
Yeah, listen, I agree with what Anthony said. If you have a strong enough personality, if your frame, if your lifestyle, if your influence over her is strong enough, she will naturally gravitate away from friends who are a bad influence on her in terms of a relationship. Now, when we say bad influence, let's not pretend that we don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about slutty friends, right? Okay, so you have friends that influence you to eat steak instead of potatoes. Like nobody cares about that. No, we don't want other women to pollute or contaminate our women. This is why, and I say this all the time, this is why married women should hang out with other married women.
90 seconds.
You have 90, and don't worry, caller, you're not going to be dropped after 90 seconds. You just have 90 seconds to call in, guys. So if you want to get in, now is the time to call. It's going to be another 90 seconds before that's it. But your question is how do you control your woman or your wife's social circle? You asked the wrong question. You cannot control anything your wife or girlfriend does. What you can do is you can do two things. You can influence her and you can give her choices. So for example,
60 seconds.
So for example, this is something that needs to be done in the beginning. If you are already in a relationship with a woman and 1 year in, you figure, oh no, she's friends with Stacy. Stacy's a slut and she might be negatively influencing my woman. You can't then tell her, hey, you need to quit hanging out with Stacy. You can't do that a year in. What you do is before you get with her, when she angles for that relationship first, and she starts to ask you, okay, what is required, and you sort of indirectly tell her these things, just let her know kind of subtly, listen, you said you want to be in a relationship with me. You need to limit. If you want to be in a relationship with me, you need to limit your time with Stacy. Well, why do I need to limit my time with Stacy? Because I don't want it. You don't even have to explain anything to her. When you say I want you to limit your time with Stacy,
10 seconds.
She's going to know why she's going to know why you want her to limit her time with these friends who are a bad influence. Women, and Steve says this all the time, women aren't stupid. 90% of the time when a woman asks you a question, she already knows the answer. She just wants to know, A, if you have the balls to tell her the truth, and B, if you're afraid to or what was the second one? She when she asks a question, she wants to know that you have the balls to tell her the truth, or if you are going to go into some long drawn out explanation to give her the opening to argue with her. If you start explaining things to your woman, that gives her, and she'll pick something out of what you explain to her to grab onto and disagree. Now you guys are in an argument about who she is going to hang out with.
I'll go one step further on what you're saying here, Donovan. They're not only checking to see if you have the balls to tell her the truth, like honestly what you want and what you feel. They're checking to see if you have the balls to tell yourself that.
Yes,
which is where most men they fail first with themselves and then with the women. So they're really checking you, what's going on in your head.
Yes.
For them, that'll be if you tell them the like God honest truth, that whatever the fuck that is in that moment, if it's appropriate for that, and it probably is, it's more important about you being able to do it yourself first. Everything starts there.
So in the beginning, and again, we talk about this all the time, your woman is not going to know what your boundaries and expectations are unless she pushes them first. Everyone's going to do this. What can I get away with? So while you are dating, while you are in the first throes of romantic lust, and she hangs out with Stacy that night, what you need to do is you need to withdraw your attention from her, right? When she says why, and she's gonna ask you, well, I noticed you've been a little bit cold lately. I noticed you haven't really been available. Is there a reason why? Let her know. Listen, I don't like it when you hang out with Stacy. That's just all there is to it. And say, listen, I don't like it when you hang out with her, and we both know why. So then she'll ask you, are you telling me that I can't hang out with Stacy? No, listen, I'm not going to tell you what you can or cannot do. You're a grown woman. I'm not your father. I cannot control you. What I will tell you is that the more you hang out with Stacy, the less available I am going to be, right? So she does the math in her head. Okay, he's not saying that I have to drop Stacy as a friend, but the more I hang around Stacy, the less available he's going to be. Well, guess what? Now there's a choice. I can either hang out with my friend Stacy all the time, or I can be this guy's girlfriend or main chick. And if you're a high value guy, if she wants to be with you enough, she's not going to cut all ties with Stacy. But what she's going to do is she's going to limit her interactions with her. Women, in order for women to influence other women, they have to be physically present with one another. This is why we say that married women should never have single friends. Married women should never have married friends who cheat on their boyfriends or husbands. So there's no way to control your woman or your wife's or your girlfriend's social circle, but you can highly influence her decision making. You need to make sure that she directly correlates hanging out with the friends that you don't approve of. She needs to correlate that with your lack of availability. The less she hangs out with them, the more you're available to her. The more she hangs out with them, the less you are available to her. Women aren't stupid. They'll do the math.
That's some real talk.
Caller, does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's a good answer. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling. Area code 512. Getting to the top of the hour here, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to start winding things down. I'm going to read some of the comments in the chat. James Martinez says, he says, you're not shooting up stores if you're shooting. Oh, wow. You're not
women. I saw that.
Shooting in women, which is absolutely freaking hilarious, as Devin gives me a turkey sandwich. Let's see. Beta Male Strategies says, thanks, gentlemen. The lie was something trivial regarding her body. I did it not to hurt her feelings, and it was a long time ago. I since then changed my behavior, but since then she couldn't trust me. Okay, I guess that was the answer to the question. What exactly did he lie about? Your bitch chose me, says Donovan. Respect to you and Anthony and Steve. All right. Jesse Tyler Wellman says how to not be a nice guy. Rule number 1, you're the most important person in all of your relationships. Rule number 2, don't care about what anyone or what any woman thinks or their opinion is. What are your thoughts on that, Steve?
Well, I tell guys all the time, if y'all want to see the antithesis of an asshole, watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. I love Larry David. Larry David is a straight up bona fide asshole who doesn't care what people think about him, and he's gonna tell him what he feels and what he thinks without thinking it. So, but again, y'all don't take what we're saying as like I gotta be an asshole. No, myself, Donovan, and Anthony, we're nice guys. I'm a nerdy geek, sci-fi, SpongeBob cartoon watching, video game playing cake motherfucker. That's me. But great man, because regardless of who I am and what I do, I have standards, principles, laws, rules, and codes that dictate my life and dictate my relationships. That's all I want to say on that.
Anthony, your thoughts?
Yeah, can you give me the question again? I was playing with my video there. What he was talking about?
Wait, let me scroll back up to it. Hang on a second.
Kind of got sucked into what Steve was saying here too.
Oh, that's quite all right. Oh, Jesse Tyler Wellman says how to not be a nice guy. Number 1, you're the most important person in all of your relationships, and number 2, don't care what anyone or any woman thinks or what their opinion is.
Yeah, I'll just add this. I think Steve covered that really well based on what he just said. I'll say that what men consider an asshole, and so this is the nice guy asshole thing. What men consider an asshole, what women consider an asshole are very different things. They're coming from different biological and psychological perspectives. So women do want you to be the asshole, but to them, they're not going to say that usually, right? Like 99 times out of 100. But that's what they want. But men don't want to be around assholes. I don't want asshole friends. I don't want asshole people in my conventions. I don't want asshole speakers. I don't want asshole people in my life in any way, right? But women do. They love assholes. That's why they date them endlessly. That's why they fuck them. They get, knocked up by them, all this shit. Just keep in mind that those are different things to each sex. And you don't have to be an asshole to men in your life. But with women, you should characterize a lot of those behaviors in a way that's productive and healthy and makes sense to you first and then to her and what she wants. And her desires for that alpha asshole, the guy who does have boundaries and strength and courage and mastery and honor. That to her is an asshole kind of thing. And then with your guys, your boys, you don't need to do that.
And by the way, today's women defines an asshole as a man who does not pander to them, right? A man who actually tells her, "Oh my God, you're such an asshole." When a woman calls a man an asshole, that's really what he's talking about. You know how that goes. Guys, that's going to do it for this edition of the Red Man Group. My thanks to all of the super chatters. Nick's the Observer with the $5 super chat and question. Sam Whiskey with the $2 super chat with a very good question about the mothers and sons. Wizard of Do It Land with the $5 super chat. We certainly appreciate the support. Any last words, Anthony? Projects, things you've got going on in the coming weeks, months, years, etc.
So the Red Band Group is also now sponsored by the Fraternity of Excellence. There will be a link in the description of this video after the show ends. I'll put it in. So you can join the Fraternity of Excellence. It's a great community that Hunter Drew and Craig James created a couple years ago. They always have a strong showing at the 21 convention. And FOE itself, the fraternity, is an online community of men that's very strong, very well put together. It's a badass tribe. They just had their first meetup, too, in real life. They had an optional meetup back in July during the Poland convention, actually, out in Colorado. So join that. And by joining through the RMG link, you'll support the Red Band Group itself. Beyond that, of course, tickets are on sale to the 21 Convention 2019 of Orlando, Florida. We're dropping major new speaker announcements this month on Twitter and social media and all shit like that. Also this month, we're dropping a lot of content, speeches, high quality premium videos on YouTube, on 21 Studios YouTube, as well as the Red Man Group. We're publishing several live episodes from the convention of the Red Man Group in Poland and at the recent Patriarch Edition in Orlando, Florida. And also new speeches. We put out 2 speeches yesterday from the convention from Richard Nicolai and Johnny Saporno.
Oh, wow.
Those went out yesterday on 21 Studios. We're putting out another one today, another one tomorrow. So we're just going to be bombarding YouTube with really high quality, long form, premium content, both on RMG and on 21 Studios. Beyond that, I mean, there's always a bunch of shit going on, but that's the gist of it. August is a huge month for us, very busy, very awesome shit, and prepping for Orlando, obviously, later this year, the final 21 convention of 2019.
Anthony, isn't your birthday in August?
It is August 25th, coming up soon. I actually have my birth certificate I just got from my mom the other day.
We are all August babies.
Okay.
Which
We'll actually find out I was born at 4:20 p.m., which is kind of interesting.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's whatever.
Well, August babies, this means that our parents got it on for the holidays.
Yeah.
That Christmas booty. Steve, what you got going on? Project.
I can't give the time where I was born like Anthony. All I know, my parents were smashed in November, and they had me August 21st. So that's all I know. But what I have going on, guys, don't forget Monday, 8 East on this channel. We've got the Red Pill Mindset Show, and I'm going to be talking about, when it comes to life, women, and everything, what kind of businessman are you? That's what we're going to be discussing on the show on Monday. So y'all guys go ahead and tune in. Also, guys, if y'all want to holler at me, Instagram, Man Mindset, Twitter, Man Mindset, Facebook, Man Mindset. And thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Donovan. It's been great. I love this, man. And it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for A1, man. Appreciate you all, brothers.
Yeah, today's show was awesome. This new StreamYard software is absolutely the truth.
Oh, wait, one thing down. And the support of the chat room and the chat room dogs. Everything's coming around, guys. And we just want to say we appreciate y'all guys as well. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to those that are listening, who are going to listen, who are continuing to listen.
Absolutely. This is impossible without them, for sure. Definitely thank you for the super chats. But yeah, the show, the split screen and all the different views and bringing on, sharing the screen, that's a game changer. I'm definitely going to be doing that a lot more on my channel when I have guests on. I think that could be very beneficial. I'm actually going to be releasing modules. I have an ocean of content out there, and it's scattered all over the place. Dude, some of it's on Patreon, some of it's on YouTube, some of it's on my hard drive. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be compiling and I'm going to be grouping this content, and I'm going to put it. It's going to be for sale on my website. So be on the lookout for those guys. It'll just be modules. It'll be the Illimitable Man Chronicles. It'll be the Alan Roger Curry, a compilation. If I've got 10 or 11 episodes on game, I'm going to put all those together. It's going to be from the past all the way to the present. So just be sure to stay tuned for that. I'm also in the process of finishing up my book. My book is coming out. I don't have an exact date, but it's coming out very, very soon. And it will be for sale exclusively on my website. I don't know if I'm going to make it available on Amazon or not. We'll see what happens, but we'll figure that out. Other than that, that's what I've got going on. Anthony, what you got?
Yeah, last thing I forgot to mention. So there's so much going on. We'll be launching tickets to new events this month as well, and in September. For example, the 2020 Patriarch edition of 21Con. Those tickets will be released in a few weeks, and tickets to the next summer's Poland convention will release soon as well. There'll be pre-orders available. You can get it early. So there'll be news on that. You'll see on the community tabs and social media, Twitter, all that shit. So new events, Orlando events coming up soon, 2020 events, lots going on.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for the 77th edition of the Red Man Group. We will see you guys back here next week. Thanks for watching.